Man, my bad for the long intro. My bad for all the swirls and the swiggles. But look, in this video, this dad discovered that his daughter-in-law killed his son. Yeah. Stay tuned, y'all. Hit the like and subscribe button. My bad for that long intro.
Just minutes earlier, his son was found mysteriously shot dead in the driveway of his home.
It's my son. It's Tyrone Hassel III.
Tyrone Hassel III?
Tragically, this happened while his son, Sergeant Tyrone Hassel III, was home for the holidays at his father's house, spending New Year's Eve with his wife and their child.
I heard about her.
His wife, Kamaya, was the one who first found Tyrone outside.
That this guy, who I think did it to my son, ain't a black person. Would y'all treat him the same way?
Absolutely.
What's the address of the emergency? 911.
I need help. My husband.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
I need help. I need help. My husband was shot. I need help.
Okay, where are you at, ma'am?
I'm at Colfax Avenue.
Colfax?
The story of how Tyrone met his wife goes back about 5 years before this tragedy. Tyrone was starting his second year of college when he decided to join the Army. In 2015, he met Kamaya while they were both serving in the military and stationed at Fort Carson. Their relationship moved fast and quickly became serious. Things became even more serious when Kamaya found out she was pregnant. At the time of Sergeant Hassel's murder, Kamaya, who was 22 years old, and Sergeant Hassel were on block leave from Fort Stewart. Kamaya was working as a truck driver, and Sergeant Hassel was serving as a wheel mechanic. At that point, police didn't allow Tyrone Hassel Jr. or Kamaya to leave the scene. They were dealing with a lot of unanswered questions.
Daddy, if I go to jail, somebody frame me. My son walked a straight line his entire life.
After speaking with people close to him, police learned that Tyrone didn't have any known enemies. Nothing that would explain something like this. They then began carefully processing the scene. There was blood on the truck and blood across the driveway. Multiple shell casings were also found, scattered around where Tyrone had fallen.
There's one, two, three.
Hey.
And then number 4 is right there.
The first thing police suspected was that this may have been a robbery.
I don't know, man. If he in the military, she sitting at home, man, I don't know. You know how that go. You know how that go. You get money when your spouse die, etc., etc.
Gone wrong.
I'm
But
not saying
Sergeant
that's what
Hassel still
happened,
had
but
his money, his phone, and his car keys on him, so that possibility was quickly ruled out. It didn't take long for the next lead to come directly from Tyrone Hassel Jr. himself.
the wife.
He started going through social media, carefully reviewing posts on Facebook to see if anything could point to who might be responsible for the crime. When he came across something that seemed suspicious, he immediately went to the police department to report it.
If I tell you that this guy, who I think did it to my son, ain't a black person, that he's not a black person, would y'all treat him the same way?
Absolutely.
I think I know who did this to my son.
He believed the killer might have actually been looking for Tyrone's stepbrother, who at the time was dealing with some personal conflicts with other people. Because of that, police considered the possibility that this was a targeted hit meant for the stepbrother, a case of mistaken.
That's what you're thinking?
Now, you know
Yep.
my stepson.
Yeah.
He's into a bunch of shit.
Oh, we know.
Police interviewed Tyrone's stepbrother and took his statement, then followed up by speaking with other witnesses connected to him. They pushed this lead as far as they could, and it took about a week to interview everyone involved. But once again, it went nowhere. As the investigation continued, the evidence police gathered made one thing clear: the stepbrother was not involved. There was no indication that he, or anyone he had issues with, played any role in the shooting. On top of that, his appearance was very different. He had long dreadlocks down to his shoulders, making a case of mistaken identity with Tyrone highly unlikely. In cases like this, when police don't have an initial suspect, they're forced to follow every possible lead. After that, police began receiving a large number of tips from the community. In several of those tips, callers said Tyrone had been seen in the roller rink area where he was involved in a verbal confrontation with another person. Detectives then located Tyrone's friend, Dylan. They brought him to the police station to talk in more detail about what had happened and see if it could be connected to the shooting.
What did you see there?
We got there, when we see him, I'm speaking, he just give us an odd look, and then like, Tyrone cut out early.
So this drama dude was on Apple Street too?
Yeah.
Wherever that was?
Yeah, he just like give off this vibe.
He mentioned that there had been a verbal altercation with a guy known by the street name Drama. Investigators decided to follow up on that lead to see if it had any connection to Tyrone's murder. They also brought in 2 other friends for interviews, hoping to get a clearer picture of what really happened.
So the reason I'm here, you were at the roller rink Sunday night with Ty. So
The vehicle was described as a black 4-door car that had backed into the driveway of a vacant house that was listed for sale. Detectives were able to get a license plate reader hit on that vehicle, tracking it as it passed through Illinois toll booths captured on surveillance cameras. That plate came back to someone in the U.S. military, serving in the same battalion as Sergeant Tyrone Hassel III.
Wow.
The owner was identified as Jeremy Cuellar, a member of the same squad as Tyrone. Using the license plate data, investigators were able to place his vehicle near the scene of the crime on the day of the shooting. For the first time, the investigation was starting to show real progress, and police finally had a name. Before detectives spoke directly with Jeremy, they immediately contacted investigators at Fort Stewart working with the U.S. Army. Army investigators began going through the platoons connected to the case and interviewed several service members. One of them was Sergeant Bacon. He had personal first-hand knowledge of Jeremy Cuellar and Kamaya Hassel, information that would quickly become critical to the case.
I'll help you with that. So they were all in Korea, and that's where it started. He and the girl had a relationship going on, and that the guy that died had said something to him, so they had words, and then he had threatened him.
The relationship between Jeremy and Tyrone's wife turns out to be a crucial piece of the puzzle. It adds real weight to the motive and helps explain why certain things may have happened. Once Kamaya's name comes into the picture, police have no choice but to focus on her next. A turn in the case that would shock everyone. But detectives still need the full story. Was Kamaya being stalked by Jeremy, with him becoming obsessed and ultimately deciding to eliminate what he saw as his rival? Or was she actually part of it, aware of what was going to happen and involved from the start?
What was going on? When did you guys become romantic? You guys seen each other while he was in Michigan? Now listen, did you see him while you're in Michigan? Because they're going to take your phone apart. When they take your phone apart, it's all there. So what I want to say is, before they do that, I want you to be honest with me.
I've worked the same amount of hours that he worked, and I still have to come home and do everything for the baby.
I agree. It's not fair.
Often suspects won't say much to the police, but when she confessed during the interrogation, almost everything she talked about was about herself, how things affected her, why it had to be done, and how calculated it all was.
You know, you said you feel about as responsible as Jeremy is. I mean, would you say this is a 50-50 you guys were on this?
Yeah, because I know all about it, and like I said, I probably could have stopped it, but the reason that I didn't, because I felt like he would, be mad at me or...
And not love you anymore?
Yeah, because I just felt like I wasn't getting that love at home like I wanted to.
Without a doubt, she's one of the coldest people you could ever come across in any true crime story. At the same time, during the investigation, the mounting evidence against Kamaya was overwhelming. Her confession made it clear this was a planned and premeditated act, and that Jeremy had come up from Illinois to carry out the homicide. Kamaya wanted her husband dead because she felt he wasn't taking care of her properly. She believed she was overburdened and had too much responsibility. Her narcissistic traits became even more apparent during one police interview when she was asked if Sergeant Hassel had life insurance. She casually mentioned she would receive $400,000 from the Army after his death. The financial motive was clearly a factor in the crime, but what really happened that night was that Tyrone was actually bringing food back for her and their 1-year-old son when the hit occurred. Kamaya was at least as involved, if not more so, than Jeremy. He was just happy to be the one pulling the trigger. In the end, August 29th, 2019, about 8 months after Tyrone's killing, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She will never see freedom again. Jeremy also pleaded guilty to second-degree murder on July 30th, 2019, and was sentenced to 65 years in prison. With his earliest eligibility for parole at age 90, it's extremely unlikely he will ever get out. He later tried to withdraw his plea, but the Michigan Supreme Court refused to hear his case in 2021.
How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. Under the circumstances.
Man, she wanted me to do it, man. Like, and I ain't gonna lie, I wanted her. You know what I'm saying? And she knew what she was doing. She wanted the money. So I don't know what that's crazy. It's crazy. Honestly, I was blind. Like, I was blinded. You know, I thought that was love. You know what I'm saying?
I was just wondering if she talked to you about that afterwards.
I mean, yeah, she did. Matter of fact, she did. She was like, yeah, like, you know, he died in my arms. And she was saying she was sad about it. And I'm like, then why'd you have me do it then? Like, you know what I'm saying? But she was just like, you know, it's cool. Like, I could tell by the way you look, man, you want me to burn in hell, sir. And I understand that. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? I really hope you can forgive me. You know what I'm saying? I know it's gonna take forever, or you might not. But I really hope you can.
True enough, you killed my son, but I don't think. I know I'm looking at somebody that had a twisted mind at one point. You know, you seemed like a good cat. And I hate the situation had to happen, especially I hate it had to happen to my son. I'm never gonna. The only thing I could do is visit him in the grave.
Man, I don't know why that grandpa ain't got the baby. Not gonna lie to you. I don't know why that grandpa don't got the baby. But yeah, y'all. Gotta watch out for these people, man. She was saying, I love you, I wanna be with you. We married, all that, and she still stabbed him in the back. As quick as possible. Just for some money. She wanted that $400,000. Didn't even use her brain. She like, ooh, I want him. I like the way he look. I like that he look like this. I like that he say this to me. I like the way he talk to me. It just your brain did just, and he knew he fucked up. He knew he was dumb. That's why he looking like that. Like he knew for a fact he was dumb. So that's what come with marriage, huh? Military marriage. For the people who claim they single but they really not. For real, that I don't know. I don't know, cause like why? Trying to kill somebody for their life insurance policy is crazy. Like, I don't understand that one. I'm gonna marry him. Oh, I like him more. So instead of me divorcing him, I'm gonna have him kill him, and then we're gonna live forever after. Like, that shit hurt my brain. But this just goes far to prove the theory. Y'all wanna know the theory of females? I'm finna tell y'all something like the theory of females, and it's kind of crazy, but so back in the day, or back in war times, everybody going to war in the world, right? So if you go to war and then your village get conquered, right? All the females who didn't like obey and like fall in line got killed. So now you going around just getting a bunch of them who just want to obey and all that. Boom. And it's weird. Look, it's weird because like, so the men that come through, kill all the soldiers, kidnap the females. So, and a lot of the females were falling in love with the soldiers or the people who killed their husbands. Yep. A lot of females will fall in love with the man who killed their husband. I don't know why, but yes. If he is not just sitting in jail and he is around you all the time, yes. I don't, and that's why. Because during war times, it makes sense, don't it? If you're gonna fight and be aggressive, boom. What do you do to cause they treat people like animals. Everybody don't know. They treat people like animals. So if you in war, they gonna treat you like an animal. So what happened to aggressive animals? What happened to the nice animals? Okay. Go ahead. I digress. Yeah, I put two and two together. But yeah. This right here, that ain't love. RP to RP to him, man. RP to Tyrone. Cause nah. Yeah, they did all that just to go to jail with no money. Crazy, right? Yeah, hit that like and subscribe button.